It's Silver Slurpee. Welcome to the Silver Slurpee podcast. I'm joined by Hondo, Skinny Nerd. let's let's get into it. Since last week we missed quite a bit. Um, Everything from Daredevil to Invincible. Lots of comics stuff going on. Just kind of a mix of everything. So I am super stoked to talk about Invincible. That season wrapped up. Skinny Nerd, I know you've seen it, right?
Oh yes. Yeah. No, that was a we're getting to the really, really fun part of the Invincible storyline.
What were your I don't know, what were your some of your favorite parts of the season? I don't know, what were some of your dislikes maybe?
Um Dislikes, I guess it's something that's kind of been talked about a little bit. And let me preface this by saying this issue has nothing to do with the animators or the artists on the team. This is everything just a production issue and a budget issue. Um they've skimped a little bit on the animation for certain parts of the season, and it feels like it's hitting just a little bit harder. So there's a few pieces of animation that are a little rough, um, but the budget is still there for the fight scenes. The fight scenes still look amazing. So minor quibble. There was the one episode in the middle of the season, the one with blanking on his name, the Devil Detective. That I was like,
Uh
don't need this episode.
I thought
Kind
that
of fun,
episode
but
was
don't need this
really
episode.
random. Um Felt kind of out of place. I kind of agree. A little bit of a snoozer, but at least it was, action packed, I guess. Um
Yeah,
I agree some of the animation is definitely lacking in parts, but I will
never
say
during a
that
major moment though. To be honest.
I was gonna say, in all honesty, I think as a whole, it still looks just fine. And
Mhm.
there's plenty of really cool looking scenes in it as well. Like when they blew up Viltrum,
God,
looked
okay,
pretty
not to
gnarly.
spoil too much, but when Thrag pulled his hand back to throw a punch, and just the act of loading the punch
Sucked in Omni Man,
created that was
epic.
that was just amazing. You want to talk about aura?
Yeah, no, that was insane. I don't think I've ever even seen Superman like bring back a punch and suck his enemy in just with pure badassery. Um, that was pretty gnarly. A lot of people are kind of upset with the last episode. I think a lot of people were expecting like some big crazy fight. Um, I thought the last
That's
episode
not
was
where the
really
story goes.
cool, and like the
Yeah,
fear that Mark Grayson was going through, the entire episode was pretty gnarly. I think
listen, there's
rightfully
plenty of
so.
fights still left in that show, but the entire point of the episode is that that is not where they're at right now.
Yeah, and I thought you know most of this season was pretty action packed, so I didn't really
Yes.
mind the lack of fighting in the last season, and I will say, or in the last episode, and I will say, even with that, most of the last episode was still pretty gruesome, just by what
Hmm.
Mark Grayson thought he was seeing.
That, yeah. I also on Invincible, I much prefer how they're handling Debbie and Nolan's relationship this time around. She's a little less jumping into his arms than she was in the comics, which I think is good. The fact that the they're driving home more the consequences of what Omni Man did, because yes, we know through seeing what he's going through in space, we know the kind of person he's becoming and he's already shown himself to be. But for the people on Earth, they haven't seen any of that. And so it makes sense that to them, I mean, the last time, Cecil saw him was Omni Man, killing a ton of people in Chicago. So it makes sense that that is still the image that Cecil has of Omni Man.
I did I did think it was kind of an interesting take that Debbie had, and you don't see it a lot in comics, or sorry, where Nolan kind of put it back on her.
Hmm.
Obviously, he's done a bunch of horrible things. She doesn't need to forgive him. None of them do, without a doubt. But him bringing up the fact that she was always trying to advocate for his supervillains and being like, well, people make mistakes, like they can they
Mhm.
can be rehabilitated, they can change and like turn it around. And when Omni-Man brought that up to her, kind of seeing the gears turn in her head, like, fuck, I don't really like it when it's personal to me anymore. I thought it was kind
Yeah.
of an interesting little take there from Omni-Man, kind of putting the pressure on her. But I love her fighting back, and even when she like breaks her hand trying to punch him in the episode prior or a couple episodes prior, um,
Yeah.
lots of fun back and forth between them. So I think that's been really cool. Um,
Yep.
I agree. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
so someone got upset with Amazon and has ceased watching Invincible.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the mid-season break, and it pissed me off, and that was like 3 years ago. Um, is this? I'm gonna watch it at some point. Is this season as good as season one? Because season one just captured me,
See,
and then I just fell off. I slowly started falling off season after season, but season one was freaking sick.
I think this is probably my favorite season.
Okay.
I think season one is my close second, or tied for it. Um, I think this season and the first season are probably my two favorite seasons of the show.
You're selling
there's
me.
some there's some really great stuff in season 4. I will say, just like we said, they had like years and years to put together season 1, so every frame of that is gorgeous animation. Versus season 4, this was done a lot faster, so there is definitely a drop in animation quality, but story wise, from a show perspective, just as good as season 1.
Well, a lot of people have mentioned, so season one, I believe, took about 3 to 4 years to make, and ever since
Exactly.
then, every season has had about a year in production. So that's a huge drop in time that you get to do and animate all of these scenes, especially like some of these big fight scenes like this last season had. The fight with Conquest, um, the second
Hmm.
to last episode. I mean, there's a lot going into these, so it makes sense that the first season obviously is gonna stand above the others in terms of animation. But
Yep.
I th- I think this season is probably my favorite. It's a ton of fun. It was one of my favorite parts in the comic. I loved just the Viltrum War stuff. It was a blast. So that's been
Yeah.
great. A new episode of Daredevil just dropped tonight.
Guess
Um,
watch it.
I have not watched it yet. Did you
I have
watch it?
not had a chance to yet.
It's the second to last episode of the season, which is kind of a bummer. I thought we had a little bit more time left, but the penultimate episode, as they would say.
I figured I would watch it after today's episode, just because I figured we probably shouldn't talk about that, as it's literally just came out a couple hours ago. So um,
Pretty
I
good.
I am down to talk about last week's episode though. That was good. Um,
Yeah.
what's her name? Kind of pissed me off. Um,
Aaron Page, Jessica Jones.
Paige. Just at the end, I didn't mind like her and Daredevil having the conflict about killing Bullseye is fine. Um,
Mhm.
no, when she went out to the freaking rally at the end, I'm like, you're gonna get caught. The second she showed up, I was like, she's gonna get attacked, captured, killed, something. Sure enough, she gets captured. So, that sucked. So she kind of frustrated me with that. The fight with Kingpin was awesome. Kind of brief, but still cool. And it's definitely some references to the comics, which was pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see where they're going to go with this, how they're going to wrap the season up.
Yeah, and they only have one episode to do it. So after this one that just came out, I was really excited to see Jessica Jones in it, obviously.
Of course.
And I'm trying to think back on last week because I just watched this week, so I'm trying to think what happened.
The
Can you
Jessica
say
Jones thing with her
cliffhanger?
powers coming in and out is kind of
Yeah,
interesting. I don't know if that
yeah,
ever happened in the comics that I was aware of, but
I'm really tired of that. And the only example I can think of, I feel like we've seen it many other times, but the only example I can think of is when Hulk is going in and out in Infinity War
yeah.
and Endgame when he's like, "Oh, I can't be the Hulk anymore. Sorry, guys." You know, just let them be badass. Let them just destroy everybody. Let them be their actual character. I am not a fan of having that be a weakness and a plot point, whatever else. Like, find other plot points for them to play into. Let them be badass and let them fight. Let them be the character they're designed to be and they're written to be.
Well, and also like Jessica Jones is strong, but she's not. It's not like she's like Superman or Hulk level like strong. So her really only thing is she's got a little bit of super strength, but like it's not like she's some Daredevil level fighter, as we saw when her super strength went away.
Then
Um,
she's nothing without her super strength, right?
yeah,
Same thing with Hulk and
I mean she's at least got like the detective aspect of her, which obviously makes her a
Mm.
fun and interesting character.
sure.
But
Yeah.
I agree.
It's not a power.
I don't want her super strength to dissipate and be
I was
coming
going
in
to
and
say,
out. I feel like it's frustrating.
discounting what Bruce Banner can do is a little dangerous, as a number of characters have found out throughout the comics.
Well, what they did in the films was pretty piss poor.
Agreed. That I will
Yeah.
agree with you.
Well,
Yeah.
Hulk as a whole kind of has been
So
screwed
embarrassing.
repeatedly in
And he's
the
probably going to be
MCU.
bad in Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I heard about
I
that.
would. They. They. There's no way they could make it happen at this point with it because they've butchered so many pieces of it. What I wouldn't give for a full like Planet Hulk and World War Hulk storyline would be
Well,
that would be amazing.
see, I think it would actually be they could do it and like restore Hulk to something that the fans actually want Hulk to be.
Or they could like blend it with Battle World a little bit, you think, with Doomsday and Secret Wars.
He's the only
No,
thing that would
see, I'll
suck
be
is like
honest. The
he's already been sent off planet once. And
mhm.
so
They
it's
could have
like
done it with Ragnarok.
we're gonna send him off to like restart his character. Um
I'll be
Yeah.
honest. The piece of it I really want is the World War Hulk piece, the bit where he comes back to Earth, and basically the entirety of the Avengers have to deal with not just an angry Hulk, but an angry Bruce Banner. Because that's one of the big issues is that they initially think that, hey, if we can get rid of Hulk and bring it back to Banner, we can get this back under control. And then they very quickly realize, oh no, Hulk and Bruce Banner are on the same page right now. We are just totally screwed.
I think you're right. I think they're so past that. They've written
Yeah.
themselves out of that, and it's hard to get to that point, especially with Black Widow being dead now, as she was written as the only person that can calm him down and get him back to being Bruce.
Well, and they don't. They outside of the one thing in Age of Ultron, they haven't really done anything more with the idea of Hulk himself being a danger, because
Yeah.
they went the route of the
And
minds being unified, and so you have an intelligent Hulk. Which, I mean, there's still some interesting stuff you can do with that, but you can't set up we have to send Hulk off planet to protect everyone when it's just Bruce Banner kicking around in the big green body.
well, and now in Spider-Man, he's wearing like a limiter, like some kind of wristband that's like keeping him in between Bruce. Yeah. They showed it in the trailer just really,
Mm.
really quick. And apparently that happened at the end of She-Hulk. But I'd have to ask all 11 people that watched it to confirm that actually happened.
I did not finish
Um,
She-Hulk, so I tried. I did my best. I could not finish it.
Yeah, the Daredevil parts were cool, and even that wasn't
Even
very
then, I
good.
feel like
Yeah, even that
Daredevil was
wasn't
kind
very
of
good.
a dork.
Freaking loser. Yeah,
Like it was weird.
total bum.
Who do you think is the most disappointing MCU character to you? To you personally, like who's the most disappointing? I think everyone knows mine is Thor, obviously.
Thor. Close second would be Captain Marvel, just because it's not even that she's disappointing relative to her comic book character, but that I'm disappointed in the lack of character I feel like they gave her. They did a solo movie with her where like there was some interesting stuff you could have done with her as a character, but they basically she didn't really go through a character arc in her own movie. She didn't really go through any kind of change or growth. She starts off the movie being a rebel, overly emotional, soldier in the Kree army, and she ends the movie by going, "Yes, it was a good thing the entire time that I was a over emotional, rebellious soldier in the Kree army." She doesn't actually. There was no change there.
Yeah, I think some of my biggest frustrations with her is just like I don't know what's gonna stop her at this point because nothing has, and I don't know. I think so far she's been pretty boring as a character, and I agree. Like she hasn't had any real problems, and because she hasn't had any real problems, like she hasn't really changed or evolved much as a character, whether it be in Avengers, in her solo movie, whatever.
It
Thinking
doesn't
about her
seem.
movie, there was never a bit of it where she lost. If I'm really thinking about it, she like every encounter in her movie, she won. She won every single fight she was in. She never had anything. It felt like basically the entire movie was her just winning and then stumbling into the next thing she needed to do to continue winning.
She also eats a headbutt from Thanos with the wearing the Infinity Gauntlet like it's nothing, just like Thrag did to Invincible, except it's Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and she ate it like it didn't even matter.
And it was
So
so
I don't know who
poorly
she's gonna fight
shot.
at this point.
Like she literally like didn't even move, which I get is what the point that they're making, but she could have at least done like something. It looked like nothing happened. It was such a silly shot for me, and it took me out of that moment.
Yeah. Well, and even like obviously, as much as I'm mad that they've done a disservice to Thor and Hulk, um, I don't. I don't think either of them should be kicking Thanos' ass either, especially with the Infinity Gauntlet or any of the stones.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
so I thought that was silly. Who do you think is your worst or most disappointing MCU character, Hondo?
I was trying to think about it while you guys were talking, and I couldn't think of anyone off the top of my head that I'm really upset about. Um,
All right.
so I will.
Not even She Hulk?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's terrible, but I have never really been a fan of her anyway.
That's fair.
Um, and a lot of the people I like, a lot of the characters I like have been fleshed out by this point in time. And obviously, that's the goal, right? You want people that the masses love to be fleshed out and to get more movies and have more screen time and whatever else. Um, so it'd really just be like new characters that haven't had the time of day. And even that, I can't think of too many because the new characters I don't enjoy too much. Um, so yeah, let me think on it, and I'll pop in out of nowhere and interrupt you guys.
No, that's fair.
excellent.
Um, but yeah, back to Daredevil. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting a little bit more of kind of a rage from Kingpin in the last episode. Obviously not tonight's. Um,
I mean,
but
he
I
killed
thought,
the doctor. I mean, that
yeah,
was kind
I
of
feel like we saw
rageful.
that coming. The second he went for a hug, I'm like, dude, you're an idiot.
What an idiot. He's like, hey, I know your wife's dead and she's the only reason that you're alive right now.
And I failed as
Um,
the doctor to save her.
and you were talking trash about me not saving her in the episode prior. So I'm
Yep.
going to give you a hug. Hopefully everything's okay. You have a history
Oh,
of not killing people.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think that was like the dumbest move on the doctor's part. I think we all saw it coming. The second he got in the room, Hondo, you kind of froze a little bit there, but the second he got in the room, went for the hug,
There
I'm
we go.
like, he's dead. But for the most part, I think Kingpin kind of had a calmness to him for most of the episode. Whether that be he's just grieving and will be raging. Maybe he's raged in tonight's episode. Who knows? I'm sure that'll come.
What was Matt's ex-girlfriend, the therapist, and Buck, the like Kingpin's hitman bodyguard guy doing? What were they doing together with
Oh,
their little like horny like breathing in each other's faces kind of deal?
I felt like that was kind of random. Had
It's like,
they
can we
had
get
they
out
been
of here? I'm
having a
watching this with my
relationship that I
wife.
wasn't aware of for the prior episodes?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it
like,
came out of nowhere. So silly.
if you want to like flush out her choking fetish or whatever, like,
Yeah,
can we at least build into this relationship? Not just like, what did the guy that tried to kill you do to you?
yeah,
Choked me. Do it to me. All
yeah.
right. Guess we're in a relationship now. I agree. Very odd.
Super silly. There's a lot of storylines. There's so many different storylines and so many different characters, and it's hard to keep up with them. I don't know everybody's name. I've never been good at that. But I feel like there's a lot,
I think
especially with newer characters.
this the stuff going on with the the girl who's leaking the info and
James, yeah, Michael Gandolfini,
yeah,
and
and the assistant,
yeah, yeah,
dude.
the
I think that
deputy
stuff's
of communications.
yeah, I think that stuff's pretty interesting. I'm liking what's going on there, and I'm just like waiting for him to get outed every single episode
Hey, you should
and
watch next episode.
and die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like her death is probably coming here soon too.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm kind of surprised. I don't know, with obviously Karen Page losing Ben, the old like newspaper writer,
And Eric, yeah.
um, that she hasn't, I don't know, tried to be a little bit more cautious with this lady and like tell her like, hey dude, like reel it in. This lady's getting warned by, media manager guy, whatever his name, I forget his name.
hmm
Yeah, there's so many characters. And then there's Matthew Lillard's character, Mr. Charles, that's doing whatever he's doing, just
Yeah.
being like funnily sinister for whatever reason.
Yeah, I feel like I still don't even know what's
He
going
has
on with
the
that. They've alluded to it very briefly.
Yeah.
he's to be clear, he's playing that character fantastically well, but that is a character archetype I hate, where it's the unearned, over the top arrogance.
Like the apple eating like villain.
Yeah, it's just like you
Yeah.
really just want to reach through the screen and slap him upside the head because no one's willing to mess with him yet, and I am preying on that man's downfall harder than literally anyone's right now.
Well, and even like Kingpin, obviously, shows him his respect to some degree of like, any other character Kingpin would have, killed this guy by
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. I'm interested to see where that goes. The only thing we brought this up a couple episodes ago,
Mhm.
that I'm kind of worried with where the season's going. I think we're gonna end up with obviously Kingpin being the main villain of next season. I don't know. I haven't seen tonight's episode, but
Yeah.
I feel like we're not gonna wrap it up, and it's gonna be another season with Kingpin, and I'm like, I'm getting a little fried on Kingpin.
Have you seen and I feel like they did this last year for season 2 after or during season 1 because they're filming them within a timely manner rather than the normal TV shows that are taking 3 or 4 years to develop a season.
Mhm.
So they've leaked set footage of Kingpin and Vincent D'Onofrio, and he has this huge fat beard, and he's in this like trench coat kind of thing, and so they're saying that he's disenfranchised or just like kind of kicked to the curb a little bit as the mayor, because someone is stepping up as mayor, which they revealed in the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. Someone else ended up taking over the mantle. And then there's this storyline with Luke Cage potentially being the mayor. But yeah, he's still going to be in it, but it seems like he's going to be kicked to the side a little bit, which is, I think, what we need. They also teased what's her face as Lady Muse. She was in the mask with the bloody eyes and everything. So it seems pretty official. There were a lot of set footage.
Are you talking about the therapist?
Yeah. There were a lot of set photos of her in that outfit. So seems like everyone who was thinking that was correct.
That makes sense. I think that's what they were trying to work towards with their little choking scene. But I think we
just
need
her
a little
being
more,
weird.
build up into it. She just pops up for, a 60-second scene here and a 30-second scene here and there. Like just feels kind of random with her, and it feels like they're just trying to like tease her for the coming seasons.
But then the argument there too is you're saying you're tired of Kingpin, and now we have Muse again in a different variation. So we've had 2 Daredevil villains over the course of 6 seasons. Find something else. I know we had the Hand for a little bit and whoever else, but maybe we can get somebody different that's not so recent.
Yeah, and I think it also would have
Honestly, I
been
wouldn't mind to see more of the Hand. Truth be told.
Yeah, and I think we'll get that from Spider-Man. I'd love for that to bleed into this show a little bit and then jump into Spider-Man. I think that'd be super cool. And I'd love to see. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like they're using Spider-Man as like a huge tie-in movie to bring a lot of stuff together.
I think it's perfect. I think you need to get Punisher, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, all of them together. We can leave Iron Fist out of that. I would love to see in the Hand kind of realm of things. I'd love to see Martin Lee as Mr. Negative kind of thrown into things too. I think that would be super cool. So we'll see if they end up throwing him into things.
Yeah, I think it could be really good. I definitely want some different Daredevil villains though, so I'm ready for that.
Yeah, and then there's Tombstone too that's coming in the new Spider-Man movie. He can kind of bleed into Daredevil. They all kind of, they all share.
Well,
They
and
all
I
share
think
villains.
it's almost kind of a bummer because I think Bullseye would have been a great single season villain to just like be the villain.
He was in season 3
even then
for
wasn't.
Daredevil.
I feel like wasn't Kingpin kind of still the overarching villain?
I'd probably say it's 50-50, but yeah, you're right. He was still in there.
I mean, I love the actor for Kingpin, and he's great. I think it would be it'd be nice to, I don't know, let someone else have the spotlight for a little bit as a big bad.
Yeah.
um,
You watch Maul?
I have watched Maul.
Are you caught up with?
I
I
have
guess
watched the
today
first
or
6
yesterday.
episodes, so I didn't watch yesterday's.
Okay.
Normally we would do this tomorrow, obviously, and I would have watched all of these, but with the recency of stuff, especially Daredevil, I definitely didn't want to talk about that one, and I have not gotten to Maul yet, but love to talk about the first 6 episodes of those. Have you watched those yet, Skinny Nerd?
I have not. I've been. Unfortunately, we talked about the Verona Prime trailer not too long ago for Warframe. I've kind of been on my grind for that, trying to get the werewolf. I need the big shiny werewolf.
Fair. I think Maul is awesome. So far, it's been great. The action is wicked cool. Obviously, Sam Witwerth kills it as the voice actor. And that animation just continues to get better and better.
Yeah, they've been on a pretty hard tear with Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Underworld. Did they do Tales of the Sith, or was it just Tales of the Underworld?
Just Tales of the Underworld, I think.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was Underworld.
And then the small Shadow Lord, which I think has been
Mhm.
every single year for the last 3 years. Um, which has been around the same time too. It's usually around May the 4th. What a surprise. Um, but yeah, this season's been a lot of fun. You were talking skinny nerd about aura farming earlier, and I hate to use that word from this generation, but good grief, that is all Maul is doing this season. You know,
Yeah,
I I was watching the last
and it
episode and was
looks
like,
sick.
dude, I was like, this is like the eighth time he's came out of a ship with the freaking door closing down and there's a bunch of smoke coming out, and he's like, oh, I got my lightsaber lit up. I'm gonna kill you all. Um, it's just been so sick to watch. I haven't even really been paying attention to the story. I was like, oh man, he is just kicking ass and taking names, and this has been a whole lot of fun to watch.
That is like the classic Maul entrance, though, even from like Phantom Menace, when he walks
Yeah,
up to Qui Gon and Obi
that's
Wan out the door, and it's just like, it's like, oh,
that's
we saw the double
that's
lightsaber for the
his
first time.
thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like the
his thing.
the walking out the door entrance with the lightsaber just looking cool as hell
And
is his
this
go-to.
last episode was, I was watching it last night without getting too into it. It was going through his trauma, which I thought was so interesting. And he was going through these visions and like headaches
Oh hell yeah!
and yeah, gosh, it was just so cool. And it was like 3 minutes of his traumatic past from start to finish. From him as a young kid in Deathmere to where he's at now, in
I
Mhm.
Mall Shadow Lord. It was really really cool.
and maybe this is in this, but I think it'd be really cool to see a little snippet of him when he was Palpatine's apprentice. I think that would have been kind of cool, or would be kind of cool
Maybe,
to see
maybe.
a little
Who
glimpse of.
knows?
I think that'd be pretty
That
sick.
would be cool.
Sounds like
I would love to
we
see
could.
for this. I don't think they've done it yet, but when they did the last episode of one of like the last handful of episodes, last season of Clone Wars, when they brought back Darth Maul and that for a fight with Ahsoka, they actually did motion capture of Ray Park for one of the last fights, and it was so freaking good. I'd love to see them do that again with Maul for maybe one of the big climactic fights in this show. I'd love. There's to be clear, they do an amazing job. The animators do with Maul, but the weight that Ray Park brings to the motion of Darth Maul is incredible.
Yeah, I don't know if he's allowed on the set anymore because they're scared of him revealing his penis. Um,
What?
What?
yeah, that dude's a weirdo. Um,
Oh, I did
he
not
has
know that.
had many scandals in the last couple years of him
Oh,
going on. Look it up, skinny nerd. Come
Yeah,
on.
I'm kind of looking at that. That's interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
I was not aware of
no, dude's a
that.
weirdo. And yeah, Instagram Live, he's just doing a bunch of weird shit. So it doesn't sound like he's going to be invited to the party going forward.
that does kind of
Dang,
suck
that
because
sucks.
his
Yeah.
um
But yes, I think that would be so cool if they did that, and I think Sam Witwer would be perfect for that role. I think at this point in time, he's done enough lightsaber cosplaying to the point where he can spin her around and do all that kind of stuff. Um, I was gonna say, Silver Slurpee, did you see at this where you're at in the show is Merrick the like helmeted Inquisitor? Is he in the show yet? You know what I'm talking about with
there's
like the slotted helmet.
two of the Inquisitors are in it. I think
The
so. Yes, I believe Merrick
Okay,
is there.
because yeah, I think there's two. There's one that was in Tales of the Jedi that fought Ahsoka in the
Yep.
last episode, and he's like a bird-looking skeleton creature, kind of
Yep.
so sick, so sick. I think his name's the 11th brother, if I'm correct. And
Yeah.
then Merrick, who is in Ahsoka in live action.
Yes.
I know that was a while ago. Um, And I think this is a prequel to Ahsoka because she killed him in that, um, and pulled like a little Obi-Wan Maul kind of thing where they just like stood off and then she just sliced him in half in like 2 seconds.
Hell yeah.
But then a bunch of like magic came out of him when he died. So what they're saying is he's going to die in this show, and then the Night Sisters are going to bring him back to life, and then eventually he'll be in the Ahsoka show, or at least canonically.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
I've heard apparently there's a few of the Inquisitors that have been kind of revived and things like that. Obviously, until they felt they didn't need them anymore, and then
Yeah.
Vader and Darth Sidious just kind of did their thing from there. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if Maul killed a couple of these guys. Of course, I feel like you kind of have to do the um like the revival thing because you only have so many Inquisitors and a bunch of them have been killed amongst all the shows and movies so far. So
Yeah, and I feel like we're like, oh, it's a limited amount of Jedis and a limited amount of Inquisitors and Sith sensitive folks, and then every single show they just add a brand new person or a brand new group of people. It's like, oh wow, this random girl that we never knew was force sensitive is currently force sensitive. So I can't remember her name, who he's trying to have be his apprentice, but whatever's convenient to the story, which I
To
get.
be fair, they do make a point that they've said multiple times that the whole idea of the Force is that it's in everyone. It's just the Jedi, by and large, were just like they didn't want to bother with anyone who wasn't at least at like a certain level.
Yeah, is her
Devin is the Twi'lek.
Is her mentor a true Jedi, or is he just force sensitive?
No,
The like old guy.
He's a Jedi. Iko
He is a Jedi.
Is
Oh, of course. How could I forget Io Deki Daki? Yeah.
I literally wrote them down because I was like, those names are tough. Devin is not so tough, but I still wrote it down because,
Yeah, the Twi'lek. That's the species I was looking for.
But I think what Maul is doing a really cool job of showing is obviously the struggle that they're going through, and then also kind of being caught between two worlds that aren't necessarily fond of them. So they really have almost no one on their side because you've essentially got like the government, like the Sith and the Empire, hunting all of the Jedi, and then the underworld side of things definitely doesn't like the Jedi and wants nothing to do with them. So I feel like they're kind of caught between this world, aside from Maul specifically, who I will say I think has tried and failed, but tried consecutively now with numerous Jedi to try to get them to join forces to battle the Empire. And every Jedi is like, no. I don't think he necessarily goes about it in the right way because he's trying to go about it with some evil intentions as well. But he's tried to do it with Ahsoka. He's tried to do it with Devin. He's tried to do it with Ezra. Like, maybe the Jedi should have been like, all right, Maul will link up with you now, and the rebels, who a bunch of them were, underworld criminals and stuff from their past. Maybe they should have linked up with them and they could have beaten the Empire a little sooner.
And those are the best villains too that you can connect with and understand their, understandings of things.
Yeah, it is one of those situations though where it's like, Scorpion and the Frog, right? Trust me, I'm going to help you kill the Empire. Don't worry about my lightsaber mysteriously igniting behind you the second it's convenient.
Well, let's worry about it once we kill them, and then we'll fight each other after.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, for the Jedi to link up with Maul and the underworld, it's like, yeah, we'll use Maul to help us defeat him and all the Mandalorians and everything, defeat the Empire, and then fight Maul after. I think that would have been a better way to go about it, but obviously.
There is also the slight issue of Maul will sell out the rebels the second he thinks it would give him an advantage.
For sure.
So you could never trust him as an ally in any way, shape, or form. The moment he thinks that betraying the rebellion would benefit him, he will do it. Even if it's before the Empire falls, if he thinks betraying them gives him an advantage, he'll do it. And so he does make a very, very bad ally in that sense.
Yeah, I think
I thought the
Maul obviously
scene.
puts himself in a tough spot too, because like
Oh yeah.
he knows he can't beat the Empire, especially Sidious, because he whooped his ass in Clone Wars
Uh-huh.
when he had what's his name,
Savage.
Savage, and he when
R.I.P.
Sidious went with the dual lightsabers and
Uh,
just wrecked him was so sick.
Clowned on them.
Yeah.
I thought the scene was really cool when he was with what's her face in the dark, right? And he's just like spooking around her and like kind of whispering. And do you remember that
With
scene?
the Jedi Devon. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. When he's just like tempting her into this, that, and the other, and he's like, "Come on, be on my side," blah blah blah. Gosh, that was just so sick. Again, back to the Aura farming. He just looks so badass. Like,
No, and I think
didn't even have a lightsaber. And he's like, "Come to me."
I I think it's amazing the level that not just the animation has gone to, but obviously that's a huge standout. If you go from like Clone Wars season 1 to Darth Maul right now, it's insane, but it's still the same art style and it looks sick. But also just
Yeah,
the filming, the way they're having the characters move, the camera angles and things like that, I think have been really improved upon. And I think it shows pretty well that Filoni can obviously make magic happen in the live action, which he's already proved, to be fair. Um, but I know that was a worry for a lot of people. It's like, oh, well, he hasn't done live action. And I'm like, I think he's proven himself enough within the animation world, and some of his filming styles, techniques, and then obviously he has done some live
Mhm.
action now. So
my favorite addition to this season specifically is the motion blur on the lightsaber movement. It looks so cool, and I think that they should have that going forward. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but when
yeah,
it like, it's not just
Yeah.
a stick of light that never moves. It has that gravity and that flow to it.
yeah.
I think it's really really cool.
Which I think is just one of those things that obviously helps with budget and with Filoni's track record of success. I think they're willing to give him obviously more time, more budget to make a better product, which is nice. It only took Filoni having to put out epic Star Wars content for 15 plus years for them to finally give it to him. But
Did you guys see the Mandalorian and Grogu clip that they released a couple weeks ago?
yes.
No, I
Made
missed that.
it looks bad.
Uh-oh.
Which one? Which
When
clip?
they're driving away in a speeder.
Hmm.
Oh, with the dude from
What's
Rebels,
Zeb?
Zeb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zeb. Yeah, not good. I don't know how you feel about it, but
interesting. I don't know. I watched it on my
and
phone. Maybe it didn't look so bad on my phone.
yeah, if I saw that in IMAX in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, I still would think that it was probably dog shit. It looks so bad.
Dang.
That's not good.
And the people are not happy about it. The internet are not happy about it. Um,
Is it just
Fair. The
like
internet's rarely happy
it's
about it.
just like
yeah,
CGI looks bad?
no, it just looks like the cheesiest thing you've ever seen. And that's how I felt. It was really cringy. And I've been a big Mandalorian fan. And I really hope that it's good, but I'm worried that it's not going to be, and I'm worried that they're pandering to the children whose parents take them to films in the summertime. So we'll see what ends up
Pandering
happening.
a little too much to the baby Yoda crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. See, it's just getting worse and worse. Maybe not. Season 1 was freaking sick. I love season 2, and then it just went downhill with 3. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. So we'll see.
What would that be your ranking of the Mandalorian seasons? One, two,
I
three.
would do two. One is just so special because it was new. But I would, if I had to take them individually without taking into the context of the times, I would do 2, 1, 3. 2 first.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
What?
You
When
throw
did
in
Luke show?
Bo-Katan,
When
Luke's.
when did Luke
Yeah,
show up?
season 2.
That's what I thought.
So season
I
season
think
2
two was probably my favorite.
is Boba Fett, Luke.
Oh,
Oh, you're kind of cutting out. But yes, there were a ton of characters in season two. It was nuts. Um, I think season two would probably be my favorite. I didn't think season three was as bad as a lot of other people did. Um, but I think I've liked all of Mandalorian. I didn't really care for Boba Fett much. The last episode, sick. It just took way too long to get there.
Yeah, I think there were highs and lows, and there were high highs and low lows in Boba Fett. Um, and then don't forget Lizzo in season 3 of The Mandalorian. Lizzo and Jack Black. That's what
I
they think is acceptable in the galaxy
I
far,
forgot
far
about
away.
that. Well, it was that's similar to like in the Acolyte when you have the Jedi who like has to talk about
hmm
shitting herself and getting sick every time they go into hyperspace. I'm like, you're a freaking Jedi master. Like this is stupid. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
I
don't
was
just talk about this lady having to go to the toilet every time we jump to hyperspace. Like it's dumb.
I was watching Maul last night, and I was like cooking dinner and stuff after, and then it automatically went to the Acolyte, and my wife was like, "Oh, what are you watching? You watching Star Wars?" And it was like the intro. I was like, "I don't know. I was watching them all. Maybe it's the next episode." And then it was the Acolyte, and I was like, "No, no, turn off."
The yeah, that that show was something. Um,
They had
All
me
right.
in the first
I
episode.
just watched the clip. I mean, I will say it's only 45 seconds, and I'm going to be honest. That feels very Mandalorian still. That bit of humor of Grogu not knowing what he's not like really understanding what he's being told to do.
It's a
That felt
theatrical.
very.
It's a theatrical movie, though. Is my problem. You know,
I gotcha.
that it is going to be shown in the same theater as Oppenheimer, and
The same theater as Need for
and
Speed.
and
and National Treasure.
you know what, we watched National Treasure on Saturday night, and then we watched National Treasure 2 last night, and I was like, oh, Bruce Greenwood.
What a Batman voice.
And then
I
I
should
don't know if
watch
you guys
Eight
have seen,
Below next.
yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer just kills it. I don't know if you guys have seen the guy on TikTok. All he does is impersonate Nicolas Cage. And he's like, it's a clue. I found a clue. And I keep saying that in front of Ashley, and she's so pissed every single time I say it. I'm like, babe, it's a clue.
Very nice. Classic.
Yeah.
Where were we? Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't remember the clip being that bad. But obviously the Star Wars crowd is also very tough to please. They are brutal. Not even just saying you. The Star Wars crowd
And
in general is
I don't even think I'm that bad,
savage. No,
but I
No,
do.
you're not.
I'm not
You're
saying
not by any
you're being that
stretch.
bad.
I think that our savior is gonna be the movie with Ryan Gosling that's gonna come out, and I can't remember. Starfighter, maybe
Mm,
is what it's called. Um,
Look it up.
could be.
look it up, Jamie. I'm pretty sure it's called Starfighter, but I could be wrong. But it's Ryan Gosling, and they put out a couple stills, and it looks freaking sick. And I don't think he would sign up to a movie that would be bad. So we'll see.
I still have faith in the Mandalorian. I think it's going to be good. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, you got it. It's Starfighter.
I don't think it's going to
Starfighter.
be in the
Was
style of a lot of Star Wars movies that people are used to. But I mean, if you didn't realize that by the first season of Mandalorian, I think you're being kind of silly because Mandalorian as a whole is just kind of a different vibe within the Star Wars world.
don't you think it should be elevated from a TV, style of quality to film? Because that just looked like it was another episode of The Mandalorian, and it didn't even look like a good episode.
I mean, here's my thing. Looking at the rest of the trailers, the rest of it looks really good. I think I do also think that we may also have a skewed perspective here, just because, to be frank, The Mandalorian for a TV show definitely raised the bar for what you could do with a TV show in general.
So I was going to say, I think it's tough because the show is so good to elevate beyond that. Like I think you could make most of the show in put it in theaters and I think it would have done well. Um so I don't
And
think
then
it's going to elevate too much. Um but I think that's just a lot of shows in general these days. I think one of the problems that a lot of shows suffer from when they're going onto these streaming platforms like Disney, where they're like, cool, here's your huge budget for your Star Wars show or whatever. And they're like, cool, we have 8 episodes for this show. So now they have essentially an 8 hour movie budget versus being constricted to like 2.5 hours. So that's why you end up with a lot of these shows, whether it be Marvel or DC, Star Wars, whatever you name it, where a lot of people are like, "Man, this is a filler episode," or "This episode's so slow. The first 3 episodes took forever for anything to happen." I think that's kind of the biggest struggle with a lot of the shows. Um, that a lot of the movies obviously have flushed out a lot better because we've been doing movies forever. It's just the pacing of things.
And that's the only thing they have going for them, I think, is that the exposition has already been had over 3 seasons.
Mhm.
But then I feel like that's its biggest detriment at the same time. Oh man, I didn't see the 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, and then also the last 3 episodes of Book of Boba Fett. Am I
Mhm.
even gonna want to go see this movie?
I
Yeah,
think
do that.
I think most obviously all your freaking huge nerdy fans out there have seen most of it or all of it. And even the ones that haven't, odds are probably going to go see the brand new Star Wars movie. Um I think you're going to, you might struggle to bring in some of the, your random people who are like, "Oh, there's a new Star Wars movie. I saw one of those
Yeah,
30
but who
years
wants them
ago."
anyway?
Like I might go see it and like I don't know how much, how much profit are they really bringing in for Star Wars? I don't know.
Well, if you go see it, viewers, don't talk in the movie, and we will all love you.
No, for sure.
That's your civic duty.
Please silence your cell phones
For the
and your
love of
flapping
everything.
guns.
Yeah,
The,
we got that coming out next month. The Invincible, obviously
about
Invincible just
my movie theater experience.
yeah. Oh, you just froze again, so you'll have to wait. My the world doesn't want to hear your movie theater experience. Um but I agree. I think people need to stop jibber jabbering in the theaters. We all love going to the
Mhm.
movies.
I'm
We all
sorry.
love being nerds.
Am I back?
Welcome back, Hondo.
You're
Share
back.
your movie theater
Okay. I
experience.
love telling people to shut up in the movie theaters. But the only times I don't feel that way and I don't feel anxious and I don't feel pissed off was the last 2 times we went and saw movies at Con in San Diego. So when we saw Deadpool and Wolverine and when we saw Fantastic Four, it was like we were all there to see it together. It was a party of 200 people seeing that movie rather
Mhm.
than parties of two, three, four, five, six. We were all just having a ball, and I haven't felt that way since then. And then also probably Infinity War and Endgame. It's just such an experience,
Well,
and
that's
I
the
wish I
great
could go
thing.
back to those days.
That's the great thing even today still like being a hardcore nerd and going to the movies on like that opening night, odds are you're there with a lot of the serious fans or legit fans that actually care. They want to be there.
100%.
They want to enjoy
Yeah.
that experience with a 100 fellow nerds in the same theater, and we can all cheer at the exciting parts and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
then obviously everyone's being quiet when they're supposed to. So I think that's still cool, at least, and prevalent on like those opening night kind of situations, which typically is what we're going to when we're seeing it at San Diego Comic-Con.
And maybe
Which has been really cool for the last 2 years for Marvel when they released their big Marvel movie over the summer, literally the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. That's been a blast. And I don't think
Jamie, when does Spider-Man come out?
I don't think it releases during Comic-Con this year.
I didn't think so. Otherwise,
I was
yeah,
bummed
I
about
feel
it.
they showed Deadpool and
Month.
Wolverine in Hall H in
Check.
24,
Yep.
but they didn't
July
show.
31st.
Yeah, it's the weekend after.
That
Bunch of
sucks.
losers.
So, I mean, cool. At least we'll get to go see a cool Marvel premiere after. But I do like when it's the week of Comic Con. It's a lot of fun.
Or what if they show it in Hall H a week before it even comes out?
That would be insane. I would lose
Bring
my mind.
exclusives back to con.
Facts.
What?
And huge shout out for what they did at CinemaCon. Given
I'm
those
so pissed.
I agree. I want to see the trailer, but I love being pissed for all the right reasons. I'm mad because
Yeah.
I want to see it, but they're doing it right. They actually gave them an exclusive look at the trailer, and they haven't shown it to the rest of the world, and everyone is dying to see it. Like, way to build the hype, way to give the people that went to the show an actual experience, something exclusive to see and look at. So cool. Want to see that return to San Diego Comic-Con, which we do have Marvel returning to Hall H. DC's got a lot, coming down the pipeline. Hopefully we can get them returning to Hall H. For those that don't know, Hall H is San Diego Comic-Con's huge ballroom, holds like 5,500 people or so roughly.
Yeah, 65 is what I was gonna say. So yeah, something around there. Did you say I was cutting in and out? Did you say Marvel is coming back?
Yeah, Marvel's gonna be back in Hall H.
Time.
I'm hoping DC will be. I think it'd be sick. I think they've set up enough. They can make a Hall H appearance now.
If they did a Brave and the Bold and release Batman and the Batman actor, I would lose my mind. Unless it's like some no-name actor and then everyone's just like, all right. Which it probably will be if they were smart about things. But
or maybe Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will actually come out in their real Green Lantern uniforms and we can actually get excited for it.
Did you see the picture they HBO posted yesterday or today? And it was just them sitting in a bar. And it was someone said it's always sunny in Oa is what it was.
Dude. And they're in like
it looks so bad.
The most colorless desert. Like, it feels like a cowboy movie at times. And I'm like, these characters in Green Lantern, like their whole shtick is literally different colors. Mean different things for their superpowers and shit. And it's the most colorless show that has come out in the last 20 years.
And it's two big actors too. I mean, I really hope they don't waste them. Big actor. Aaron Pierre's not a big actor, but he's up and coming, and he's had some good things and is really placed well for the role.
Jon Stewart, if
I do too. Yeah.
Trash show.
Yeah.
But huge shout
Speaking
out
of
to Marvel.
up and coming stuff and Marvel, we have a whole slate of Marvel games coming out. All from Insomniac. Who we have Wolverine coming out later this year. I don't know if you guys have also heard, they've also announced Venom, Spider-Man 3, and an X-Men game, all from Insomniac.
No, I don't believe you. Really?
Yeah. We have Venom coming next year with Carnage as the villain. Marvel Spider-Man 3 with Cindy Moon as Silk, taking the role of a third protagonist. and then with Green Goblin as the major villain for that movie.
Yeah, it's about
And then we have
freaking time.
and then we
Dude,
have Marvel's X-Men that's supposed to be slated for 2030.
That's gonna be so hard to do with so many different powers. It's gonna be like the Avengers game, and even then, it was still kind of similar. You
I have
remember that
faith
one
in
I
it.
in
have
2000?
faith. I have faith that if there's at this point, if a company has earned our faith that they can do a good superhero game, I feel like Insomniac is one of the ones. They have a really good track record at this point. I think you could manage it with X-Men depending on how you do it. And I mean, keep in mind, all we know at this point, because it's 4 years out. All we know at this point is it's an X-Men game and it's from Insomniac. We have no other information.
Yeah.
I think I am so excited because, like, for Spider-Man, some of the coolest parts of the game, which it has so many, the story's incredible, but some of the cinematic, like, interactive fight scenes that you have where you're like chasing villains or helicopters or whatever through the city is always insane. And I feel like the stuff with Green Goblin that we'll probably get with that is going to be wild while he's throwing pumpkin bombs at us and stuff. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, the Spider-Man games from Insomniac were a spiritual experience for me. I really enjoyed those games. And
Mhm.
so many people talk about it when it was, you're looking at Venom, right? You're playing against him in Spider-Man 2, and then the camera turns and you are playing as Venom now.
Yeah.
That was just such a sick moment where we're like, holy shit, we are Venom. And we were at that panel in Hall H. You remember that?
Yeah.
That
That
was
was
awesome.
freaking sick. Yeah.
So cool.
It was the first panel or the first con back since COVID.
Yep.
So everyone was all masked up and it was kind of distanced a little bit. But Tony Todd was there speaking in his Venom voice,
Yep.
and what's his face that plays Spider-Man.
Well, and then they all the voice actors went over to the Marvel booth to do signings,
Yeah,
Yep.
and we tried to sprint
yeah.
over there to get those.
Gosh.
We didn't get them, but it was still
And
fun
they
trying.
brought out the statue too, the Spider-Man Miles Morales Venom statue
Oh, good.
And
that
they
somehow I missed out on. You,
announced like the controller,
oh,
and there was the P. I didn't get the
Yeah.
whole PS5, but I did get my controller. And
did you buy that for like $120 or something like that? Like,
no, I think it
on
was
that,
like a
you
standard.
did you buy it straight up or did you buy it aftermarket?
Yeah, I got it
Is it?
when it released.
It was so hard to find that controller.
Yeah,
It was hard to find it under $200.
very cool. It's being
Oh
like
gosh,
taken
I
over
love
by
that
Venom.
freaking controller. Yeah, if you want to mail that to me, I wouldn't be upset about it. Yeah.
Other kind of
Such a
interesting video game news. I don't know if you guys saw. They are doing a full remaster of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yes, and it's like
re-
a legitimate remaster,
It is a bring it up to their new engine remaster.
and on top of it, they're fixing some things that people did not like in the original Black Flag
Mhm.
game. I don't know all of them, but I guess some of the
Small
combat
concern.
has changed because that was a complaint from the original game, and people wanted it in a certain style. So they're listening and they're actually doing it from what
yeah,
we've seen.
they're just duplicating the fight style from the recent one, whatever
Yep.
that one was called. Um, Japanese
Mirage,
one.
I think, or Shadows.
Sh- Shadows. What was the one in Japan?
Shadows.
Yeah, so they're just
Yeah.
basically copying that, which is easy for them, right? You just throw
Mhm.
it in and then it's an easier thing. So I get that. It looks like a lot
Yeah,
of
I
fun.
guess
I'm super excited. And I started playing She Santies on Spotify once that trailer came out. I'm just like, yeah.
That's one of the
dude, you say
that's
that
one of the
like sea
coolest
shanties
parts.
aren't a core part of my playlist.
That's literally one of the coolest
I
parts.
get
Literally
it.
just roaming the seas in a pirate ship and you're blasting sea shanties.
Hanging with the
It's
boys.
it's exciting. It's like I have a
Oh
similar
man.
feeling to the Spider-Man games, not to go back to those, but like webbing around the city, hearing the music,
Yep.
hearing J. Jonah
Oh,
Jameson talk.
yeah.
Like I swung around in that game doing nothing for probably a couple hours of like over my gameplay. I would just swing around and be like, okay, I guess I'll go do a mission now.
And
It was just so much fun, and I think Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 3, obviously kind of introduced the ship battle stuff, which huge shout out to Assassin's Creed 3. That story was cool. But
Yep.
I think Black Flag has that similar kind of feeling, and it's so much fun to play.
Yeah.
The traversal in Spider-Man is unparalleled. The best traversal in any Spider-Man game or any superhero game.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think that's the only video game that I've ever actually like gotten teary-eyed in or cried, was at the end of the first Spider-Man game that Insomniac did, where you're battling
May
Doc
died.
Ock.
Oh.
Such an emotional fight. Oh, it was so good. So well done. And I don't think I've ever gotten that way for any other video game. Not that like the other Spider-Man game and a half were also solid. I think the story has always been one of the best parts of the Spider-Man games, which I'm looking forward to that in the Wolverine game as
Silver
well.
Slurpee, your horse in Ghost of Tsushima is very disappointed in you right now.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't cry for my horse in Ghost of Tsushima though.
Arthur Morgan dying. Nothing on the tuberculosis.
Did you get teary-eyed for Arthur Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
I'm not blaming you.
Like I said, it was a
cried for
spiritual
Spider-Man.
experience with a lot of things. Aunt May dying, a few things in The Last of Us, Joel dying. Spoiler alert, everybody! It's been 6 years. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 had a couple too, and I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I think actually Joel dying was sad, but I think in the first Last of Us game, when your actual daughter dies right at the start of the game,
oh my
I
gosh,
think that choked me up pretty bad, if I remember.
Yeah,
the first time, that messed me up
because I did not see that coming right at the start of the game, and it's like, bam, like wow. And
we were like
the story.
We're just old enough for that to be like an important and like we were like 17, 18 around that time. And I was, oh, holy shit. That was
and then the story just keeps growing. And then I think also with them setting the stakes and the bar so high at the very start of that game, then you get Ellie and it's like, all right, well, this is my second chance kind of thing with obviously this kid. And I think we were all terrified for so many parts of that game. It's like, oh my God, Ellie's gonna die, or like I hope she makes it, or you're seeing this bad stuff happen to Ellie. It's like, no, please.
And the ending of that game too is really emotional, brutal. With her, looking for the truth in what actually happened in the hospital. And just ending with like a zoom in of her teary eyes, and then just going into the acoustic guitar, soundtrack was just so much fun. And 2 is just, I love that game. And anyone that hates that game can come to my address and we'll fight. Because it was a fantastic game, and it was released at a bad time of the year. It was released in May of 2020 or June of 2020, in case anyone was wondering. So bad time in life, but also I didn't have to work, so that was cool.
Video games, though.
Yeah, let's hit it. Jump on the sticks, baby.
Bring 2020 back. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think the first time I got emotional,
catching up on all my shows and video games.
Yeah, kill the grandmas.
Yeah. First time I think I got emotional at a video game. God, I'm gonna just make it my mission to bring this game up every podcast. Shadow of the Colossus.
I fight big rocks.
Another emotional scene with a horse. Near the very tail end of that game.
But aggro lives. So it's fine.
Spoilers.
That game came out 20 years ago. I don't care.
Yeah. No, the very end, this horse that you have been with the entire game, literally, they make it look like he sacrifices himself to throw you to safety. After you are clearly like losing your humanity throughout the game, this is like one of your last vestiges of your character's humanity is this horse, and he throws you across a bridge as it collapses to save you.
Yeah,
that would kill me.
I remember watching.
It was bad.
I remember watching you play that a lot as a kid,
Yeah.
and the aggro dying scene sucked.
Mhm.
And I felt like 9 out of the 10 times that I would, 9 out of 10 times I'd go into your room to watch you play it. You were always at aggro dying. I feel like you just replayed that scene over and over again to mess with me. It was kind of mean.
He also plays his video game standing up, just in case you guys were wondering.
Not
I don't
anymore.
do that anymore.
That has changed. He'll get a little jerk in the seat, but
I get a little twitchy still.
back back in the day, he used to jump while he played his games. It was legendary. In case y'all wanted to know a little bit about Skinny Nerd,
He's a freaking beast. And
That's why
Silver Slurpee.
that's why he is our gaming expert.
Yeah. Silver Slurpee has to watch Skinny Nerd play video games because he can't beat those games himself.
True.
I'm in the same boat.
I do see you got some comics behind you. That is a super sick Superman Spider-Man cover. There have been a lot of cool comic stuff going on lately, and I think I know what Skinny Nerd is going to grab. What have been your favorite comics over the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I
Some of your favorite
want
reads.
to show this bad boy off. Spawn number 8 came out in night.
Oh no!
Put that on the gram,
At
buddy.
least our audio works, right?
Yeah, it's gonna fall again.
Oh no!
I hate my life. How embarrassing.
The
So
cover's
Spawn
cool.
number 8, yeah, super cool. All right, Skinny Nerd, your turn.
Have you been reading Spawn?
No, I have read Spawn since 343, so like the last 7 issues or so.
Hey, Silver Slurpee, we may want to crank your volume just a little bit or get you a little closer to the mic, one of the two.
Yeah, we're good.
Ever since my friend Todd McFarlane wrote me a letter, I have been very interested in his work. So your dad got me his autograph at Comic-Con a couple years ago. So
very nice.
He is my friend.
I think I've only got one Todd McFarlane signature, and it's on a Superman action figure. It's hanging on my wall. Pretty cool.
Sick.
Go ahead.
I have gotten myself all caught up on the trade paperbacks for Something is Killing the Children. It is really good.
There's already a trade? I thought it just came out.
Oh no,
there are 9 trades.
Really?
Yeah. That's what got James Tynion like on the map.
Really? Yep. How stupid am I? I'm sorry.
No.
It is it's a really good story.
It's
I was just talking about this with someone the other day. It is it's a really good story because something that I think they really well understood is that a lot of times what you can imagine in your head is way scarier and way worse than anything they can put on a page. And so obviously, if it ain't clear from the title, this is a horror story that does kind of it involves the death of children. But they do a very good job of, for the most part, hiding any of that actual violence, hiding the results of that, but very, very strongly implying exactly what happens at every step of the way, which leaves it up to your imagination how badly things are going.
Yeah, well, it's kind of nice because it's not like every page you're just watching children get gruesomely murdered kind of thing.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's tasteful.
It's a lot more about them trying to like figure it out, stop it.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
It shows you enough and tells you enough to essentially establish the stakes and make sure that you're aware that this is happening. But there are certain comics that show violence and show gore for its own sake, and this comic very much does not do that. it knows where that line is, and it knows where that line is to show enough for it to make sense for the story, but not to go overboard.
Have you guys seen Weapons that came out last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have not.
You
seen
talk
it.
about that kind of stuff, and it kind of just puts me in that. I'm sure it's not even close to similar, but pretty good film. Check it out.
Very different story. There are honestly some parallels you could draw in a certain sense.
Yeah, interesting film.
I thought I had it sitting here, but another great Tinian story that's been going on and I think just wrapped up was Exquisite Corpses. Also,
There's
great
one
kind
more,
of
right?
great horror comic. I don't know. I haven't read the
There's
last
one more.
so I think there is one more. Yeah.
Yeah, they.
I think that
Oh,
I think it's ending on issue 13.
I haven't read any of it, but because I do and everybody who's watching this, please watch my panels of the week videos. Because I was doing the panels of the week, I was reading Exquisite Corpses, and
Okay.
there's one more, and the ending of that last book was very, very cool, and it makes me want to read the whole thing. So
It's been a great story. Super
yeah,
cool. It's kind of they kind of mix a lot of horror concepts together kind of into one. It's super cool. You get a bunch of different kind of horror villains in a way in it because you get all these rich families essentially. They come together and they play this game where they each have a killer that like represents them. Last killer standing essentially is the winner. And then they essentially do like a purge of a town. So they cordon it off. They get any law enforcement, paramedics, doctors out of the city. Um, and they let these like 12 killers run rampant in there. And it's like the last one standing. So you get a mix of like, someone will hire we'll use like the Navy SEAL. And then someone's like, this guy wears a bunny costume and is a serial killer, has murdered 17 people. And so they
yeah,
bring him in. And so you get all these different people that are really good at killing people in this town. So they're killing each other as well as just the general public. And it's crazy. So it's kind of a mix of a lot of different horror elements, and it's a lot of fun.
yeah. We have someone with a fox mask and a katana, so or
Yeah,
whatever mask it is.
yeah, with like a fishnet top that isn't see through. It's interesting, but it's made for
Yeah, I'm
some.
very disappointed by that.
Yeah, I think it depends on who's drawing it, whether or not it's see through. But
It's a really popular book right now.
it,
People really
Mhm.
enjoy it, and it's a
it's
fun concept.
it's done really well, and I think I don't know if it's out yet, but they released some cards with some of the issues. You could get like a special edition version of it, and it would come with a
Mhm.
card. And there's supposed to be like a card game coming with it, and I don't think it's out yet. Um, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Kind of an
And,
interesting way to introduce a new game as well through the comic.
and they do the end of the books, right? Like a bracket.
Yep.
Is that so? It's just like Final Boss does the same thing, with him
Mhm.
going through, and I guess KO as well. But I really like that because then you know how many issues are left, unless something crazy happens and they do an extra issue like this last one. Um, but
Or everyone dies all at
yeah,
once.
or it ends early. Sorry, there's no issue 7. We're ending at 6.
So that's Exquisite Corpses. It's with Image Comics. Check it out. Show you.
Image is just killing it this year.
I probably don't want to look at the end of this, but I'm going to try to pull up the bracket kind of thing. So
Yeah,
that's the
super
bracket of all
cool.
the killers.
Oh, well, it spoils, right?
Starts with 12. I'm not even looking at it, so I don't know who was at the end, but
Can't
obviously
recognize any of it, so we're good.
a lot of names are crossed off, but it's kind of fun. And
Uh,
then obviously the people on the outside are like watching from like television screens, and it's kind of crazy,
Like Hunger
very
Games.
very evil. And then some of them are trying to cheat in the game and help their person out. It's pretty interesting. So it's a really good read. Have you read Absolute Batman number 19 with Scarecrow?
The Scarecrow. Yeah,
And
big
Ooh, we've
fan.
got
Wilson.
absolute Scarecrow now.
Yeah, and Slade
Yeah,
Wilson.
Skinny Nerd. He is phenomenal. Just such a sick introduction. He has like a 6-page intro. Of
I'll
him just
have to-
like, yeah. So that's the A cover. The main guy. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Have you
I'll have to
seen?
send you guys a link to it, and maybe I can find a way to maybe like
Oh,
shout out shout out this
filthy.
creator in some stuff. But believe it or not, one of my favorite designs I have ever seen for Scarecrow was from a bit of fan animation. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up his name because I want to shout this guy out because what he does is really incredible.
Yeah, we'll have
He
Silver
does
Slurpee put it up on the deal after the fact too, so that way we can see it.
he
Also,
does
Those are my
fan-
favorite 2 pages of the book.
Spoilers: someone's dead, but the way they did these red
There.
panels,
Yes.
wildly cool.
Those are the best 2 pages of the book, and the
R.I.P.
symbolism
Gordon.
behind the red, if there's something tied to that, is very cool. I also have that book signed by Nick Dragata coming from Third Eye Comics in the next couple weeks. So
Heck yeah!
very
And shout
very
out to
excited
Third Eye
about that.
Comics because they have some awesome deals on signed books. If you have a favorite artist, writer, or whatever, obviously they don't do it for everyone, but they have typically over the course of a year, they get some pretty major writers and artists to come through and sign books for them, and it's a pretty affordable way to get some signed books, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and do it through the shop app too, because usually there are $5 off, $10 off, and these signed books are $15. So
Yeah, and they
I
have
mean,
deals going all the time. I think I just
yeah,
got I
Matt
think like
Fraction, right?
$45 worth of books for like
Yeah,
$30. So pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I got Absolute Batman 19 and 20 signed by Dragata. It was supposed to be $30, and I paid 22, like after shipping and after tax, because they were running another deal, which is sweet.
So unfortunately, I think the video for the Scarecrow one may have gotten taken down for a number of reasons, but I'm still gonna shout the guy out because he has other videos for other Batman villains. But what this guy does is he makes they're not full animations, they're called animatics. Basically, it's like he does essentially a music video for a song for a particular villain. So like he did Running Up That Hill for Mr. Freeze, and it shows kind of like the descent of Mr. Freeze and his obsession with trying to save his wife.
Right.
He did one for he's done one for uh, what the heck is the evil doctor at Arkham Asylum? Why am I blanking on his name?
Hugo Strange.
Yep.
Hugo Strange. He does one for Hugo Strange for Every Breath You Take by the Police. And he did one. He for Scarecrow he did one. I'll see if maybe I can track it down somewhere else. I'm sure YouTube got very upset with this animation for Scarecrow because it was genuinely horrifying and had some really dark depictions. He did "Bury a Friend" by Billie Eilish
Oh,
for
cool.
Scarecrow, but he did the design he did for Scarecrow was it incorporated like farming and gardening equipment into the costume. So we've seen Scarecrow kind of depicted with claws in various ways, and so this had the claws, but the claws were effectively a garden rake, like the bottom part of a garden rake that had been put over his hand. He had these like clawed boots that were like an improvised sort of outfit from like a gardening kit. And so it was this really trippy, like American Gothic design. And it just looked so good. Hopefully, we can find a link that we can share with you guys with this video. But it's just legitimately, it's one of the coolest fan designs I've seen for Scarecrow.
Yeah,
That sounds super cool. This one's like a Coraline suit wearing like
this absolute
creepo.
Scarecrow so far is awesome. And the fact that he's just straight up murdering people, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
Super cool. Murdering major characters in the comic.
Major. Yeah. Yeah.
Super cool. Love to see it. Um, Again, like I think we love having stakes um, in our comics, movies, video games. It feels I don't know, it gives the story a lot more excitement when you feel like some bad can actually happen.
Yeah. After I read it, I was showing my wife, and she was sitting on the couch. I was like, babe, check this out. Oh my gosh. And it was those last 2 pages that you showed of that character dying, and then Scarecrow being like across the way in another building, just like
Yep.
waving. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cinematic." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Like, I feel like I'm watching a movie, and if I don't feel that way, I feel like I'm in this universe. Like, it really takes me in, and not a lot of things do that. Um, but it was just so well done by Snyder and Dragata.
I think one of the things that Snyder's doing so well with this absolute Batman run is obviously it's kind of a whole new world. It's familiar to us because we know Batman and his villains and his rogues gallery. But I think he's doing such a great job of not making it overly complicated. It's not overly confusing. And even as he's introducing new characters, Slade Wilson, Scarecrow, Joker's got his stuff working in the background. Like we've got 3 villains essentially in this one
In this
issue,
book,
all
yeah,
doing
on the
separate
cover,
things, but it's
yeah.
super easy to understand. It's clear what's going on. I love it, and I think a lot of comic writers, not a lot, but there's definitely some comic writers that put a lot of crap in there, and it's so overly confusing when they're jumping back and forth and they're going to this character and this story and this thing's happening, and it feels kind of like a jumbled mess. And I think Scott Snyder's doing a great job with throwing a lot at you but managing it really well. It's easy to understand, it's fun. Nick Dragata's killing it on the art, which probably helps with making it easy to understand, and it's a fun read, so it's really cool.
I thought the Deathstroke thing was really interesting too, and we only got like 3 panels of him outside of Slade Wilson doing the press conference or whatever. But his like body parts that he's like putting on,
Yeah,
um, I'm interested in seeing how that
it looks like he's like
develops.
a double or
He's just
triple
like,
amputee as well.
yeah, he's an amputee for sure. He's putting on like a fake nose and then like a fake leg and whatever else, and
Yep.
yeah, it's super interesting.
um
Um,
are the Robins going to end up being bad guys? Are they going to stay bad guys? I think that'll be
is the
interesting.
Robin thing making you a little sour towards Absolute Batman because it's kind of ruining things for me?
um
It
in what regard? I don't think I
I don't know how I feel, but I know I don't feel good about it.
so I don't care for the like big mech robot thing.
Hate it. Hate
Um
it.
Whatever. And I feel like it just kind of goes back to what I have said about Absolute Batman is I feel like a lot of their go-to for like characters, it's like let's make them big and crazy. Let's make Joker big and crazy. Let's make Bane bigger and crazier than ever. Let's make Batman bigger than ever. Killer Croc is going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest crocodile. And it feels like that's what they're kind of just doing with every character. I'm like, guys, I don't need every single
Yeah.
person to be like able to fight King Kong.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know
feel
how
like the Joker, they still did something kind of different, at least, because he does have like the different forms.
Yeah. Well, and like story wise, different so far as character seems
Mhm.
to be vastly different from anything we've seen in Joker. Um, it's more so just I don't know, kind of
Yeah, we don't
it's not
need the Pacific Rim stuff in Gotham to me. It's really turning me off. And another thing that's turning me off is the 100+ variant covers that they're doing.
so I
And
was
I
gonna
know it's I know it's not DC, and I know they, do their thing and whatever else, but it is pissing me off.
So I just went on the Comic Geeks app
Yeah, and
like
it's
a few days ago, and there's like 87 different covers on there.
ridiculous.
I have quite a few things to say about it. That was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask when we got to this. Have variant covers like gone too far and too crazy? I think in this book,
Yes.
yes. Like this is madness. This is insane.
It 50 is a lot, and we're double that. 50
Well,
is the most excessive amount of variant covers you've ever seen, and you're
Superman,
doubling that.
Spider-Man didn't even have this many variant covers.
No, they had 26, and that was crazy.
And this absolute Batman is insane. The other thing I was going to say about it, I haven't seen a variant cover that I want. I'm getting the A cover for 20, and that's it. And I think
For
so
for
many of
tw-
them are the Pacific Rim, like Robin robot
yes.
covers. I'm like, I have no interest in any of them. So I'm kind of interested to see if it's going to flop or not. How many
For
of these covers are
20,
going to
I would
sell?
rather have the R cover. I'd rather have the cover without the Max, the one
Yep.
that they were previewing before it was even available. And the only other variant cover I would want is the Daniel Warren Johnson one. I don't know if you've seen that one, um,
I don't think I have.
where they're like working on the Max. Yeah, check that out. It's pretty cool. But every other one I've seen, it's just the same version of a different version of the same thing, and I'm just not a fan. Um, and there's
But
not enough variation in the variants for me to end up getting any.
the Daniel Warren Johnson is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and he doesn't miss too often. Um,
But
but even then, I don't know if it's available. Like, I don't know if it's going to be an exclusive or a retailer exclusive or whatever it is. But
I,
if it's available, I'll buy it.
I'm so interested to see how well these do because obviously, a lot of these shops have really gone crazy with getting their own exclusive covers, which is cool. Hey, if you're a shop, do your thing, make money, and have exclusives that are exclusive to you. I totally get that. That's cool. But having this many is insane, and I think some of them are going to get screwed over because it costs a ton of money to get an exclusive cover. And I'm sure some of these shops are definitely going to bite the bullet here with
Yeah,
so many.
because how does the business side of things work?
There's no way.
DC gives the artist the license to do this, and then the artist sells that license and their work to the shop
So
for
essentially,
for a certain amount of variant covers. Is that how it works?
like if I'm a comic shop, what you have to do is um, you apply through DC, like, hey, I want to do an exclusive cover, and you have to you have to buy a certain amount of books. Um, and then you have to pay as the comic shop or whatever, Joe Schmo, you have to pay the artist to then do the cover as well. So most of the time, like at a bare minimum, you're probably like 15 grand in the hole. Um, odds are because I've kind of looked at it. I feel like I don't know, probably 10 to 15 grand in the hole if you're doing an exclusive cover, especially if it's a decent artist.
When I just feel happy to like get a certain cover, I'm like, oh, I got the C cover that I thought everybody wanted. I'm like, sick, I got it. And then there's people that are going on at midnight from this random, comic shop on a cover 300, whatever it is.
Yep.
They're like, I got this random one that everyone's really excited about, and it cost $95, and now they're selling for $950. And there's another question, another conversation for another day is the aftermarket values of these variant covers as well.
Well, I don't. Well, that was one of the things I was going to ask is like, how do you feel about like the 12th printing of Absolute Batman #1.
And that's what I was gonna say earlier too when you were talking. And with all these different printings, I just think of myself going to con and being like, "Hey, I have an Absolute Batman 4," and they're like, "Cool. Is it the first printing or are we talking about the 17th printing?" Because we're talking $90 versus $3. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's so hard for people to keep track of, for just one book, for just the absolutes, right? Just the trio of absolutes, let alone
Yeah,
any other series.
and I feel like
I
for so long it was like if you didn't get that #1 cover, because it is kind of cool as a collector, kind of like we were talking about with exclusives, to have something that is exclusive, or to like,
Yeah.
whoa, I got this like high value comic, like that's pretty sick. Um, it's kind of fun, and then at the same time, I feel like comics for so long, it's like, well, if you didn't get the single issue comic, you can't afford it, you're gonna buy the
Like the
trade or you're gonna
trade.
read it online or whatever. And now
Yeah.
it seems like they're kind of getting away from that, and they're like, well, if you miss it, we'll print it 100 times until you get it.
And my problem is it's still $4.99. I'm buying the 11th printing and you're still charging me the same price as the first print. If you really want me to buy 1 through 15 or 1 through whatever it is right now, go to the rebirth prices and I'll pay $2.99 per, and I'll get back into it. That's what I think they should do.
That's fair.
Right?
Because I do. Here's the thing. Because I do see both sides of it. Because one, I'm big into card games, and one of the biggest issues that's plagued card games for the last 5 years, ever since YouTubers started getting into opening Pokemon packs and doing all that stuff,
Big Paul.
scalping has gotten so bad. And I hate the idea of people not being able to get into comics because because people are trying to buy up as many first comics as they can to resell, not because they want to collect, not because they want to actually like get people access to comics, but just because they want to try and make a buck off it. And so, yes, I think it's good that they are doing like later printings of the comics, but maybe we can re-examine the pricing on some of the later printings. Like, yes, absolutely charge the $4.99 for that first edition, first print, but maybe some of the later ones we can maybe look at charging a lower price.
They literally charged $4.99 in October of 2024, and they are charging the same in January of 2026. Like that's crazy.
Well, and it's
For the
so
same book, same cover, they just changed the color. If it's a different cover, I get that. But if it's the same cover and you change the color, I don't get it.
it's so interesting because obviously for DC, um, like they're big selling characters like Superman and Batman. Obviously, they're selling way more copies of those books than others, like Zatanna or whatever, which super stoked for that coming out. But um
Yeah.
so for those characters, especially like Absolute Batman, your print costs go way down when you're printing at that amount of book compared to Zatanna. I understand a book like that being needing to be 4.99 because obviously your print costs are higher because you're not making as many of them. So you're not working in at the same level of bulk. Um,
Yeah, and I
I guess
wonder
that's
if
kind of that
I
pricing.
think it'd be so cool if, at least for, I don't know, give us some of the main characters back at the Rebirth days. That was so much fun.
every single DC character. And do you think 2.99, baby, that was awesome. Do you think that their print costs are based on every DC book coming out that week or that month rather than just a specific week of
It's
Zatanna,
so
right?
it's based off of that character. From what I understand, it's based off of like when they print their Superman titles. Superman is printed at a price point or whatever based off of how many they print, and then same with Batman. Like it's per character or per
But
book,
it's
I
the
guess.
same. Do you think it's the same print shop or
Yeah, I
warehouse
mean
or
probably.
distribution center,
Which you would
right?
think you'd be able to be like, hey, we're printing this many million books. Like,
Is what they've been doing with their next level stuff with Deathstroke and Zatanna and Arstorm and stuff. Those books have all been $3.99, which I appreciate. And I thought that they've been doing that because they're lesser known characters. Not that they're insignificant, but they're a little lesser known. They're coming in the middle of the party of the initiative. So let's get people in at $4 instead of $5, and then see if we can pencil them in and go into issue 2, 3, and 4. And then they sell their variant covers for an extra $1, which you're getting a variant cover for a standard price of what you would buy another book for, which I appreciate because Marvel does the opposite. They add an extra $1 onto their first issue and then an extra $1 on top of that extra $1 for variant covers because they are scumbags. So
yeah, I think I completely agree. I think it makes more sense to obviously for the smaller characters make their books a little bit cheaper because you're more incentivized to buy a Zatanna book when it's $2.99 or $3.99 compared to
yeah.
$5. Um, but from my understanding of it, it is kind of counterintuitive to the way they are actually priced when they go to print,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah, that is the kind of the struggle, right? Is that the anytime you're doing anything in a bigger bulk, it gets a lot cheaper to make and to manufacture. But at the same time, nobody wants to take a risk on newer and lesser known character storylines.
Yeah,
So you kind of have to find a way to make those a little bit cheaper if you want to boost sales of them.
yeah,
Like
because
nobody's gonna pick up a brand new Marvel character for $1 more. They're gonna wait until they hear about how the character's doing, and then maybe they'll think about picking up that book.
yeah, because with most comics when they go to print, it's based off the amount. So I mean, it also kind of I guess it does make sense too if you're gonna essentially even bite the bullet a little bit on some of the smaller characters. If you can even like break even, and then just let Superman and Batman do the legwork and leave their price the same. People are gonna buy it no matter what. Um,
Well,
so
and I
it's
was
interesting.
appreciative of them doing Night Fight for $3.99 and all the DCKO tie-ins for $3.99.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
Yep.
in the end, it was bad, but individually it was cool. And Skinny Nerd, I think you make a super good point earlier about access, like equitable access to these books and
Mhm.
the secondary market of, Joe Schmo coming in trying to sell these books for 5 times the price when little Billy just wants to see what's going on with issue 13, but he
Yeah.
can't get it because someone bought, 5 cover C's and they're all gone.
Yeah. It was brutal with Pokemon. Magic, fortunately, the the good news about Magic is the way that the Magic secondary market works. It was a lot harder, I think, for scalpers to really break into because Magic's secondary market and the way Magic does handles things, people get it as a collectible, but its primary pricing for cards is based on playability. And so that's a lot harder to get into because the prices are way more variable than Pokemon,
Pokemon's the
where
complete
Pokemon kind of the
opposite.
secondary market is all just collectible value.
It's very
Well,
interesting.
and
Yeah.
it's Pokemon's at the point now, and it has been for a while, where it's first a collectible card and played
Yes.
second. The community that's playing Pokemon is vastly dwarfed by the collectors right now, which is making it brutal, and of course makes it harder to
Hmm.
play because it's become so expensive
Yeah.
due
I
to the
bet those
collectors.
people are pissed, right? At these people
Hmm.
that are. I'd be so mad.
Yeah,
Well, the thing that's
luckily,
terrible is it's
luckily,
kind of fallen to the.
a lot of the people that
Sorry.
are no, you're fine. A lot of the people that do play, um, for the most part, are going after different cards. But
Hmm.
it was cool when you could set up your deck to have like the cool full art card, um, as your Pokemon and stuff. And now instead of having your deck, filled with full arts and like the cooler looking cards, which would still be a more expensive deck, Now, like, you can't even afford to do that. So, you just get the lesser, cooler looking card, but playability wise, it's still a little more affordable. It's just so hard to get like cards. Like, you can't even go to the store to get cards, um, unless you're going to like a card shop specifically.
Yeah, there's a bunch of neckbeards at Target trying to, you know,
Fight kids.
max out the limit. Yeah, and fight kids.
Yeah. The the thing that sucks is it's basically fallen to the retailers to actually combat the problem,
That too.
because
Yeah.
Nintendo, they don't really care. And so what I know a lot of card shops kind of started doing is they basically went, okay, if you want to buy like a sealed booster box for MSRP, we're going to pop the seal on it. We are going to open it so that you can't sell it as a sealed booster box for a ridiculous price online. We'll sell it to you sealed, but we're going to sell it to you sealed for however much it's going on eBay. And so that kind of that's a big part of the reason why they're going to places like Target, because obviously Target doesn't care. Target
Yeah.
does not care about the health of the game.
Yeah, the capitalist, mega core just trying to sell as many deals. Did you see what? Sorry, go ahead.
Don't lose your thought. I was gonna go back into the next level comics real quick. Of the ones that you've read, what is your favorite of the new DC titles so far?
I haven't read Lobo #2. I haven't read Deathstroke #2, but I did read Batwoman #2. But I had briefly gone through Deathstroke #2, and I'd probably say that I could watch because, gosh, again, back to the aura farming. I could watch Deathstroke and his wide eyes behind smoke with his swords and a gun. 100. That could just be all 32 pages, and that's basically what issue 1 and 2 is for the most part. It's just him being badass. And then the introduction of Deadshot and whoever the other guy was too. I can't remember who it was. Coming after Deathstroke was a lot of fun. So there's that. And I don't think people are talking about it, but they said that they were going to throw in Jonah Hex into the next level. So whenever that happens, I'm going to be all over that. I'm really excited about seeing Jonah Hex in a single issue format. What is yours?
I have not read it yet, but I've heard good things about Firestorm as well. So I'm kind of.
Oh yeah, Firestorm was sick.
I heard it's really good. I want.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was not expecting Firestorm to be so good. I really enjoyed that. I think that was the best story. It wasn't as badass as Deathstroke, but it was good.
I am very excited for Zatanna tomorrow.
Me too.
I'm hoping that's my favorite. Because
it's written and drawn by the same guy, which doesn't happen super often.
Yeah, and I like Zatanna.
Dang.
Love the magic side of things. Like, big fan of Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, very cool in the Marvel universe. And I feel like, DC's kind of got to bring their magic users a little bit more to the forefront. Let's get a little more Zatanna, Dr. Fate action going on. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to track it down. There's a great set of panels of Taskmaster messing with some people, copying Doctor Strange. He pulls out a spell that he refers to as domain expansion gun. Does like some of the mystical hand motions and then just pulls out a gun and shoots people in the face. It's
That's hilarious.
Pretty great.
Sick.
He makes a whole point. He's like,
pulls out a real sword.
I can't. If I did that for like 2 seconds longer, my hands would have caught fire.
Super cool.
So yeah, super.
It's a character I'd love to see get a comic again.
Yeah, I do think this week I think is going to be a little bit of a smaller week. I was kind of looking at some of the books.
Super slow.
Not a lot coming out. There is a one shot from Justice League that I'm excited about. It's called like Intergalactic Justice League or something like that.
Yeah.
Interstellar Justice League. I don't know. Looked interesting. It's a one shot. I'll check it out. I'm sure it'll be fun.
There's the Jeff Loeb Batman Wonder Woman Truth one shot that takes place after Hush 2. And I'm just, if I hear Hush one more time, I'm just gonna throw up again.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired of them and what they're doing.
Do
I
you
know
think at
Jim
this
Lee was sick and whatever, but
so at this point, you did it with Amazon and their mid-season break with Invincible. Are you even going to finish Hush when it comes out, or will you
when
actually
was
buy the physical copy?
do you remember when 161 came out? I think is the last issue.
Over a
Maybe
year ago?
162. It pretty freaking close. It was like July,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to end in July, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it was August and it was supposed to end in July. But it was just put off and put off and put off. And it was only supposed to be a 6-issue deal. Like, what are we doing? You know? I know Jim Lee's sick. I'm sorry. I saw that he went to his son's wedding a couple
He was
weeks ago on
also
the
at a rock
Instagram.
festival in Las Vegas last
All
week.
right, I
So
have no. Yep, I don't care about him anymore. I'm sorry, your sympathy's gone from me, buddy.
he's
Do not
he's
care.
fine enough to do comic art.
Yeah, Jeff Loeb's pissed me off. The only true heroes in this situation are Scott Williams and Alex Sinclair. They're studs,
I love
and
those two.
they're
They
willing to
continue
do anything.
they continue to make great work.
Yeah, I agree.
Not overly excited with. I've heard the Batman Wonder Woman is actually kind of good by some people that have read it early. Um, Honestly, a lot of the Wonder Woman fans have really just drained me on the character. I feel like they're. This is probably not a world we want to get into, but I'll leave it pretty short. But I feel like they're extremely draining and are doing the exact opposite and making me want nothing to do with the character. Which I have read a decent amount of Wonder Woman comics, and I'm not really a huge
Someone
Wonder
was
Woman fan, anyways. But
getting India the other day about top Wonder Woman storylines in the comments, right? Like a month ago or so.
yeah, apparently, if you haven't read a comic storyline that is over 30 years old, you can't have an opinion on Wonder
Y-
Woman.
yeah, don't gatekeep, guys.
No,
That's we don't want to keep people out of the habit or the not habit, but out of the interest in the hobby.
it's fine. I just
There's
think
a way to be like, hey, I feel like this is a really good like seminal work of this character. Maybe take you, and if you really want somebody to see a comic book storyline, that's kind of the way to approach it, right? Is be like, hey, I'm a really big fan of this character. I've been reading them for a long time. This would be a really great storyline for you to read to like understand the character more or know more about this character.
Yeah, and for a character that's been around for 65 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine like there's a lot of storylines and a lot of things to look into. So, God forbid someone not read 65 years worth of literature. So
I
I was
love Deadpool. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters, and I've read a lot of stuff with Deadpool in it, and I know for a fact I have missed Deadpool comics, and I'm sure I've missed somebody's favorite set of Deadpool comics. I will say I do think you want one of my personal favorites. One of the best things for Deadpool was Uncanny X Force. There's an Uncanny X Force run with Deadpool, Phantom X, Archangel, Psylocke, Wolverine,
ooh,
and I want
agree.
to say one other character. And it was a sick comic run. It was great.
I've been
They're doing an
loving,
X
and
Force right now. I don't know who's in it though.
I've been loving, and I'm trying to read so much more. And I think it's probably honestly due to Rivals, which shout out to Rivals for being an awesome game. Um,
Hmm.
but I've been checking out a lot more with Psylocke lately. Magic as well. I find them they're both pretty gnarly characters, a lot of cool stories. And I've just trying to read some more X-Men in general, but those two have been really cool. But yeah, I think also just like not everyone's gonna like your character, and that's okay. Not everyone has to like Superman. He doesn't have to be everyone's favorite character. That's okay.
Yeah.
And
Um,
that's everything in
we,
life.
we, we can have different favorite characters. It's all okay.
Sports
Let's
Mhm.
teams,
let's
food,
let's
everything.
let's all
Yeah.
be nerds together.
Yeah.
But huge shout out to the current Superman run because it's kicking ass. It is
You're
so
really
good.
liking this Superboy Prime stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't like how Superman went out. This is not like if Superman were to like forever go away. This is not the way I would want it to happen. And I know he's not going to be gone forever. But I've said numerous times I'm totally fine with the main guys taking a step back or something happening to them, whatever, Alfred dying, you name it. Like I want to move the storyline a lot along, and I think that's one of the things that has kind of held back or been a struggle for DC and Marvel, and why some anime stuff, video games, other storylines or forms of kind of that nerdy fantasy media or whatever have excelled at and kind of made leaps and jumps ahead of Marvel and DC, is because Marvel and DC has been doing the same thing now for forever. But this has been a ton of fun. For starters, it's Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora, and it's a killer. It's a killer duo. You're gonna struggle to beat that. Superboy Prime is just a hilarious character, and he's so much fun to read. And especially without Superman being there, like he's trying to be a good Superman. He's also crazy powerful, which everyone knows I love that. And he's found like the kind of similar in ways to Clark Kent. He's found like he's like a god tier universe level powered superhero, and he's working at a comic shop, and it's like Clark Kent was a news reporter.
That was such a cool couple pages. I thought that was so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can pull that out, but him just working in a comic shop, like, oh, this is so fun. And to the Joshua Williamson, Dan Mora, in DC, I feel like it's Snyder and Dragata and Williamson and Mora. I mean, those are the top two and top two.
Issue as well.
Yes, super. Yeah, that's also in my panels of the week video. If you guys wanted to see it, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Fighting Clayface.
Shout out and then the cool things, like Clayface started turning into fellow Justice Leaguers and stuff. Very fun. Turned into Supergirl or Superman at one point, but also like here he is getting in trouble, running late to work at the comic shop.
Is that anyone important? Because it looks like it's a real person.
Not that
like
I'm
someone.
aware of.
It looks like it's someone famous. Yeah. I saw that.
I would love it so much if it was just like Dan Mora's local comic book manager or like comic shop owner that only like he knows. And like the people that go to the comic shop, it's like, it's Steve.
Yeah. And everyone else has no idea that Steve is in there. But I saw it. I was like, oh, that guy looks a little specific to be just some random dude.
Dan Mora's art is freaking awesome.
People have been calling him Goat Mora lately.
Yeah.
Goat Mora is his name on the streets.
Well, and it's so funny, like
it's funny as much as we rag on Gen Z
with collectibles in the back, that looks like a Superman Darkseid statue that we might know someone that has. So very cool, super fun read. Here he is in the comic shop, and of course,
there's the
He's not the best person, so he's kind of silly, but he's like a huge comic book nerd. So he's great for working at the comic shop, but he's also not great about maybe customer service. So it's kind of funny.
But, well, and
as much as Gen Z, both goat and aura farming are fantastic bits of slang. Let's be real here.
The aura farming, and you can be both. You can be an aura farming goat, is what they say.
So many.
I hate it.
So many great characters. Okay. That page that I just opened reminds me. So they need to kill some more old people, because I think it's time for the Kents to pass away. They've been 80 years old for 80 years now. Alfred's passed away. I think we can let the Kents go. But that's kind of what I'm talking about.
I saw a discussion the other day that was a really good point, that Marvel had actually kind of prided itself on the fact that its characters did grow and evolve over the years.
Yep.
Up until a particular event in Marvel, a very hated event in Marvel. Anybody know which event I'm talking about?
I don't know which event are you referring to.
One More Day for Spider-Man, where that was one of the first big major resets where they had they progressed Peter Parker. He was no longer like a college couch surfing kid. They progressed him to be he was married to Mary Jane. He had a life. He had stuff going for him. And then they decided that they wanted to reset him back to ground zero. And that's kind of where Marvel lost that trend of actually being willing to progress their characters. And they keep every time Spider-Man gets the worst because every time he starts to grow a little bit, they kick him back down the drain.
And I don't think they could be worse right now with their 95 number ones this year. They're recycling as many characters as they possibly can and starting from the beginning, which they do that because they know they're going to make money. People are going to buy the number ones, like we talked about earlier. You want to turn that into an investment, whatever it is. But Silver Slurpee and I have talked about that ad nauseum about how many number ones they're putting out, and they're doing the complete opposite of what you're talking about. Is progressing these stories, keeping them going, getting them into the hundreds, and now we're just kicking them back to ones and starting over.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really
Well,
annoying.
and even then, like the numbering wise, like we've talked about before, like I think there's some good to it as well. It's not necessarily all bad.
Well,
Especially
and some have
for your smaller characters and stuff. But I think even if you're gonna do that, like you're saying, I think you still need to progress the story forward. You can't just
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly saying the same thing every week, and I'm like, I just want something to change. But I think I think it would do both universes a lot to like move forward a little bit. Like I think that's one of the things that makes Invincible so good is it's one story. Now, granted, it also has an ending, which I think makes it really good. Um, but
Hmm.
you see Invincible grow and change over a time period, and it's
Hmm.
phenomenal. And I think that's one of the things that makes the show so good. Um, and it feels like Batman has new stories and things like that, and it's cool. Um, but all in all, it's still you're still playing within that same world, and there's not a lot of significant changes, and we don't have that kind of level of um I don't know, like risk to the characters that we were talking about. Like, oh my god, is he gonna make it? It's like you never have that fear in DC and Marvel comics.
yeah, because they have to keep those characters alive for 75 years. You
Yeah.
know, when did
Yeah.
Invincible come out?
I was in middle school or
2000.
high school at the time.
Middle
Oh, let me
school,
Yeah,
pull
I
it
like
up.
think.
2008.
It came out longer than people realize. But it was around for
You
it was around for
Oh my
hundred
God. No, wow, I am way off.
early 2000s.
2003.
you
Yeah, it's early 2000s.
3. Okay.
It
Silver
was around.
Slurpee loved that stuff in high school. I remember
Yep.
you were, trying to get me to read all the trades. You're like, "Oh, check out Invincible, blah
Yep.
blah." I'm like, "It's not DC or Marvel. I'm not reading it, buddy."
It's top tier.
Yeah.
But it was around for like 156 issues or so.
144.
I was close.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, I'm
Detective
literally looking at the
Comics
numbers.
alone is 1100.
But like
Yeah.
that would be cool. And I just want to see some things move forward a little bit. Some characters can die. It's okay. Like I don't.
I think you could also kind of have your cake and eat it too in terms of the numbering. If they changed over how they did the numbering a little bit, like something that would make it much easier to track down uh certain comics and certain storylines is maybe change the numbering to be like, this is Batman issue 1 of this storyline, and then number it based on that storyline. And then when you get to the next story, you can keep the same heading, just change the subtitle, and then, hey, here's a new fresh
So
number one.
I like to some degree. It's not entirely what you're talking about, but Marvel I do think does a really good job with their legacy numbers.
Legacy numbers is what I was gonna say. Yeah. Good
Um,
call.
Uh,
Yeah.
so Stephanie Phillips' Daredevil run, I think it's issue 3 or whatever, is going to be issue 700, I think, of Daredevil. So
Hmm.
it'll be the legacy 700th issue of Daredevil comics. But of her story, it's going to be issue number 3. So it'll kind of have
Gotcha.
like a dual numbering. And Marvel's been doing that for a little while now.
That's the best practice, in my
Which
opinion.
I
I
do
think
think
that's
Marvel does
perfect.
that pretty well.
Yeah, one of the few things they do better. I was getting after
Yeah.
them not putting their variant cover artists on the main cover. I probably brought that up 100 different times, but I was trying to read my Spider-Man cover in my video from this afternoon. I was like, "Oh, what's this guy's name? I can't find it." Oh, because they don't put it on the main cover because they're scumbags and and don't want to give the people credit. This is the one I couldn't figure out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, they don't put it, but DC does in
Does
the
is the
in the
artist's
barcode.
signature on there?
Um, not on this one,
Interesting. I don't think
but
I
I
ever
can't imagine they
Dang.
would the signature if they did put their own signature on it. Um, but yeah, it pisses me off. DC does it the best, and they actually give them
You
credit.
know,
And what DC does is they have the variant cover, and then you pull back to page 1, and it's the cover A. And I think that is perfect. So that way you're getting both. You're getting your cake, and you can eat it too. You
I
know.
will say some of the artist signatures don't help either because I'm like some of them I can't read. Shout out to David Nakayama for having just the
I
big
was gonna say
TNA.
that
It's the
that's the
best.
only one I know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I know him. And then
I was
Tyler
gonna say, yeah.
Kirkham's like signature is also very distinguishable,
Yeah,
which is
that
really cool.
and like Todd McFarlane, and that's about it.
Alex Sinclair's is pretty good. His S, and it just looks like it says sync. It says SINC. His is pretty noticeable. Um, Scott Williams, I don't think is over. No, the Scott you can
It's
kind of see, but the
super flat
Williams,
and linear.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just
it's cool
really
looking
just
because I'm looking at it
flat.
now. The Scott is kind of noticeable, but the Williams you can't really figure out.
Yeah. Let me look at all my signed comic books on my
Oh,
wall. Oh,
but
they bask in
yeah,
their glory.
I think variant covers have gotten too crazy. Let's add some
Hmm.
stakes back into the Marvel and DC universe. Let's make exclusives exclusive again. Let's give people a cool reason to be going to shows, paying a lot of money to go to exclusive events, staying overnight in lines for Hall H. Uh, let's hope we get some banger games from Insomniac. Let's
Yeah.
finish out the Daredevil season strong. Invincible, I thought it finished great. Um, Screw everyone else who didn't like the last episode. I thought it was dope. And um, let's finish up Mall strong. And other than that, I think
Yeah.
we'll see everyone next week. Thanks for tuning in where nerds come to chill.